All right, guys. So apparently, ALISON Collins is making news. In her bid to stay in her position, in her bid um, to wage war against people who are trying to oust her because of her hate speech against Asian Americans. Apparently, she is trying to sue the San Francisco School Board for $87 million. Uh, after they stripped her position, I don't know if they stripped her position already, but look, here's the thing about selective racism, all right? Selective racism has been pretty much the new racism since 1995, all right? It went from like white racism against everybody to certain groups who feel that they can get away with their racism against whoever they can, but then if that same racism was done to them, they'll call you a racist for it. And this is one of these situations where an African American, has pretty much committed uh, a hate crime against Asian Americans by demeaning them, by denigrating them as house, um, the N word, and I also have a thing against saying. I have a thing against the N word being the N word, since the C word is not the C word and the F word is not the F word. Apparently, you can say chink or faggot or spick or whatever, and it doesn't carry the same weight, which I have such a problem with, because it shouldn't be that way. Every single negative connotation for a group or a race should be considered, should be weighed the same. But before I get off track on this, I just want to say that if ALISON Collins was a white person and they went out and said the same, or on the same level that she went out and said against Asian Americans or anybody else for that matter, they would have been canceled a long time ago, and they definitely would not be in the position that she has been for the last 4 to 5 years. All right. I've always welled against selective racism. I've always welled against the hypocrisy of the state of the social state of America since 1995. I've always said that regardless of which group you're in or race you're in, whether you're black, Asian, Latino, white, Native American, Muslim, whatever it is, if you go out of your way to commit or some hate towards any other group, or whether it be verbally or physically or any other way, the punishment for that should be weighed the same. All right, it should be weighed the same, because if this situation had happened where it was a white person who had done this, I'm almost positive ALISON Collins would have gone out of her way to call them a racist, etc., etc. But then when it comes to them, their own actions, they want. They'll throw out the race card. They will throw out the race card. They will throw out every single race card necessary, and then they'll go out their way to connect with the mob that has helped black people with their race card in any way possible, to get them to try to get themselves out of the situation that they're in, which is an absolutely cowardice, hypocritical, just absolutely hypocritical, cowardice thing to do. But as we can see here on this example, black people have been doing that since the 1990s, and so have Jews. The Jews have been doing this, and they haven't. You know what? The Jews have been doing this through movies and TV shows, etc., etc. They've committed hate crimes. These Jewish entertainers have committed hate crimes against Asian Americans, Latino Americans, LGBTs. Go back and look at all the movies and TV shows where they portrayed Asian Americans, Latino Americans, LGBTs, fat people, women's rights, women's groups. Look at how they portray them on TV. I mean, it's the most cowardly thing in the world. All right, and this whole selective racism, where certain groups are woke for blacks and Jews, and the media itself, entertainers, entertainers like Bill Burr, Jerry Seinfeld, Sarah Silverman, Jamie Kennedy, Michael Rappaport. All these people are not anti-woke. They're woke. Chris Rock. All these people are woke. They are woke for blacks and Jews. They've been woke for black and Jews for the last 25 years. But then when it comes to everybody else, they've committed the most racist, heinous acts, in the most subtle ways, through TV shows, through the comedy, through movies, scenes and stuff like that. How Asian Americans, Latino Americans, LGBTs are written into scenes. It's absolutely hypocritical. It's absolutely racist. And I hope that the whole social justice warrior movement actually comes for them, because there's no reason for there to be selective racism. All right, selective racism is now was the new racism through 2017, just before social media took hold, just before the social justice warriors took hold. And I've always praised the whole social justice warrior movement, because the whole social justice warrior movement, that movement is pretty much for everybody else. It's not just for blacks and Jews. It's for everybody else who got sidelines because certain groups like the blacks and Jews over the last 25 years gained prominence as a result of racial promotion of their own racial brand, and racial bashing of other brands like Asian Americans, Latino Americans, etc., for their own benefit. All right, the Jews and the blacks and the whites pretty much did this for their own benefit of their own race, and that should be known. All right, it's been 25 years since that has been the norm, and up until 2017, where they got called out on it. All right, there's no reason for anybody to be calling people any kind of names, and on top of that, she called them house N-word. Either make the whole N-word thing, make every other negative connotation for every other race, either the C word, the F word, the S word, or don't do the whole N-word thing. I'm really tired of it. The whole selective racism that has occurred for the last 25 years is now coming to heads, because everybody now has a platform to call anybody else out on it. All right, this isn't like it was in from 1995 to 2017, where just black people or Jews or whites had a platform to commit the racism, and then everybody else kind of had to sit back and not do anything about it, because they didn't have a platform to go out and point fingers and say, that's just racist, that's just wrong, you're being selectively racist. They're being racist towards certain groups while condemning other people for racism towards you. And this is what this is about. All right, this is not just about this whole incident with ALISON COLLINS. I'm pretty sure she's said worse things about Asian Americans or LGBTs or whatever group that she has railed against, I'm pretty sure that's been a thing for a long while with her, and a whole lot of black people, and a whole lot of other and a whole lot of Jewish people, and a whole bunch of other people who think that it's okay to be selective, who have thought that it was okay to be selectively racist in how they think about society, which is always wrong. And I think, and I think that selective racism should be made a meme. Selective racism should be made a word that is mainstream, because that is pretty much what this is about. All right, this is what racism has become. This is neo-racism since 1995. Not neo, but nobody has actually put a word to what occurred from 1995 to about 2017, just before social media took hold, and I am in full support of the whole social justice warrior movement. I am in full support of social media, because what they do is they rail against selective racism. All right, they rail against selective racism. All right, you're either racist towards everybody or you're not racist towards anybody. Don't be one of those people who goes and points fingers at other people for the racism, but then when you then when you are being racist towards everybody else, you just want a free pass. That's not the way it works. It's worked that way for certain groups, like blacks, Jews, and whites for a good close to a good 20 years. But it's a different society now. All right, the population has changed, technology has changed, and you can't get away with stuff like that anymore, and they shouldn't be getting away with that stuff. And anybody who supports ALISON COLLINS really needs to figure out what this is really about. I definitely would love for you guys to leave a comment in the comment section. Please subscribe, and please smash that thumbs up button, because all my videos that I've put up is pretty much straight down the line anti-racist videos. It's pretty much in support of everybody, not just certain groups of people. So all right, guys, take care.